Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alex Miller, reporting live from Altamira Square in Caracas, Venezuela. There have been riots in this square almost nightly over the last few weeks. And today it doesn't look like it's going to be any different. Behind me are several hundred students wearing balaclas and t-shirts, baseball caps, and in a minute in front of me, I'm certain, will be a whole load of police. Actually, I can see some police now. Confirm that you're picking me up, please. Caracas team, please confirm you're picking me up.
Miller, please confirm. Please confirm, Miller. You're live on YouTube.
Okay. So moving forwards, you might be able to pick me up. I'm wearing a helmet and carrying a mic. Down in front of me over there are a crowd of riot police with shields. Yeah. What? What? This is Alex Miller, reporting for Vice live on YouTube. I'm in Caracas, Venezuela, and I'm in the middle of what's about to become a large fight between students and police. Behind me, you'll see what used to be a car park. A few days ago, there were some small structures in it, but they've since been broken down and mined for weapons. No. I'm not sure, I was at the back. Someone's telling me the first tear gas that was thrown wasn't from the police, but that's not verified. The normal way that this protest has been moving has been that the students move forward, build barricades, rile the police by throwing stones and bottles, and then eventually the police respond with tear gas. As I was saying, the place behind me used to be a car park with small structures, but the structures were not done to turn into weapons. Last night, there was for a couple of hours, but the police have changed their tactics over the last few days and have stopped erecting a large metal barrier and instead have come out to face them. They're moving there now, which I imagine means that tear gas is flying. Sorry. First tear gas directly at the protesters and more tear gas. Tear gas over my head from two angles. Stones are flying over my head as well. I'm retreating to the side. Oh, tear gas just hit me. Great. Okay, so tear gas has come. The police have moved quite quickly. Some police are charging forwards, which means I'm moving back. I'm moving back because of the police. The police are being very aggressive today. I saw a policeman charge forwards, which is something I haven't seen since I got here. And that's not something which the protesters like. It's already a bit panicked here. Everyone is scared of being caught by police. There were reports that some special agents had been injured yesterday, and there is worry that there might be an urge for retribution. And my gas mask is failing me somewhat. Excuse me, viewers. You're watching live. You're watching Vice live on YouTube in Altamira Square in Caracas, Venezuela. These protests reached an absolute height on the 12th of February when people were shot. Since I've been here, I haven't seen anything like that, but I have seen continual battles. What has changed about the situation is that the protesters used to have huge barricades on these roads that you're looking at now, but they've been dismantled by the police, meaning the protesters are far more vulnerable to attack, which means that they're a lot more scared. So right now they're hanging back. It's not enough police I can see, but they're being liberal with the tear gas. Obviously, when police are fighting against an unruly group of protesters like this, tear gas is a very effective way of dispersing them, because most of them don't have a thing. Here's some more tear gas. That one seems to have been aimed at me. Okay, the police aren't taking any chances today. They're drawing a line high up the street. Gas. Okay, I'm gonna see what I can see from inside. Okay. There's another row of police on the other side. They're advancing slowly and firing tear gas liberally. I seem to be the most furthest forward on my side. The students have moved back pretty quickly. This is Vice, broadcasting live on YouTube from Caracas, Venezuela. The police have moved forwards again, and they seem to be firing at specific protesters. They're moving forwards like I've never seen them move forwards before, and there's tear gas over my head. There's tear gas flying in every direction. This is Vice reporting live on YouTube from Caracas. The police are being very effective about this, and the students have no option back, as do I. And in fact, man. Jesus. I don't know how many of you have ever breathed tear gas, but it really is noxious. Okay, the police are moving quite liberally. They're not seeing the kind of opposition that we've been used to seeing. I'll take off my camera and take some pictures. This is Vice, live on YouTube, reporting from Caracas, where there are currently police and protesters clashing in the street. I can see a huge number of special guards staring directly at the group of protesters I'm stood with. Students are shouting abuse at the police. The police don't seem scared at all. It seems like it might be quite a quick victory. They're pointing a tear gas gun at me. Hiding behind a tree. This is Alex Miller reporting live on YouTube for Vice. Oh, and some cameraman's getting annoyed that I'm in a shop. Right. Much more tear gas again. People are using that creamy substance to clean their eyes. And Alex Miller reporting live for Vice from Caracas YouTube. Okay, the protesters seem to have fallen back quite easily. We'll wait to see whether there's another front. There's quite a lot of motorcycles behind us. The worrying thing for the people in my group, and for me, is that quite a lot of police seem to be gathering on the other side as though they were going to cut us off. But the students are charging forward, but they're hit instantaneously with tear gas. Yeah, there's the gas flying at us. God, like horrible, poisonous little raindrops. Some people towards the back seem to be moving. I'm going to try and stay where I am for as long as I can, but I apologise if I disappear out of signal. It's not a good idea for press to be caught by police. And as much as I love live stream, I don't love it that much. Okay, when you hear the louder explosions, that tends to be fireworks. from the protesters. Yesterday there were a lot of fireworks. One rocket nearly hit my head. The technique, the only real technique the protesters have, tear gas, is to pick up the canisters and throw them either back at the cops. And of course, back at the cops doesn't make any difference because they're all wearing protective headgear like me. It's satisfying. More volleys of tear gas. I'm going to go and see what I can see while not moving out of signal. There's a man behind me with a shotgun. No, not shotgun, sorry, a slingshot. There's not anyone armed. There's just slingshots. More tear gas going from the other side. And there's people dancing around me trying to kick it away. The police are really high up now. If one of these hit us, it's going to hurt. The police are further up the square than they've achieved in a long time. 3 days ago, the police were 500 metres back from where they are now. Yet, in about 15 minutes, they've managed to clear that section of the square. On both sides, significantly. There were reports of guards from roofs. This led everyone to believe that the police would come out in force today. And that seems to be true. Although, it must be added, so they're using tear gas now. I can see someone with 2 Molotov cocktails in You're tuned in to Vice on YouTube, reporting live from the riots in Caracas. This has never been done before. Okay, someone's made a fire. There's a lot of people walking around in anonymous masks. The thing that Alan Moore never expected to happen. It's funny to think of him in his flat in North while the world wears his work, fighting against police. There's a man running past me with a Molotov now. In general, most of the weapons used by students are stones. It's a barricade built out of bits of metal, bits of rock. But what two people are carrying today? I can hear sirens coming from a disconcerting side of the square. There's a huge volley of tear gas on the other side. Explosions through the square. This is Vice reporting live on YouTube from Caracas, Venezuela, where several hundred protesters are currently having it out with cops. Okay, a bus has appeared at the end of the road. I can't see if it's political. No, it just seems to be a bus that drove into a riot. Congratulations, bus driver. They've left now. The protesters are shouting, trying to get everyone to regain courage, to move forwards once again. But when you're fed that much tear gas, it's pretty much impossible. From your point of view, it might look calm, but these students know that if they're caught by police, they will go to prison. And it won't be that much fun. The students are charging forward. And there comes the tear gas in response. Tear gas being fired on the ground. Oh, coming at head high. There's tear gas everywhere in Altamira Square in Venezuela. explosions all around the place. It's hard to tell where it's coming. We've had to pull back a little bit. The police have moved forward very easily. I know I'm about to leave the area where you can hear me, so for a little bit I might have to hand over to our other Caracas correspondent, who is actually, yeah, the police are really not quite close. We've heard stories of journalists being arrested. No, the tear gas is right in the square now. I've never seen this before. I've been here. This is victory for the police. The protesters are throwing stones, but they're too far away now. The police are out of range. They've managed to take everyone back into the main body of the square. Base, can you confirm that I'm streaming live, or am I out of signal?
Perfect. Keep going.
Okay. I'm now stood in the middle of a crossroads in Altamira Square. Behind me are some shaken protesters. They've got their stones in hand, but they know that the police have just pushed them back further than they ever wanted to be pushed. They're making a slow and concerted move forward. Their tactic is to fire. Oh, they are now in the car park. The police are now to the edge of the car park. I am at the very front. There's about 8 people here with slingshots, but I get the feeling they're going to be chased off soon enough. This is Vice reporting live from Caracas, Venezuela on YouTube. The students are regrouping, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Most press seem to have fallen back. This is Vice News. Vice News live. Vice News live from Caracas on YouTube. And the students are trying to but I get the feeling the spirit's been slightly broken. I can hear people shattering bricks around me. This is Vice News, Frontline, live on YouTube. And that's out here with a firework. And the students charge forwards in response. All they get is a volley of tear gas. And I'm taking refuge behind the wall because tear gas.
Okay, we lost you.
Garford, it's only me.
You're back.
Can you hear me, base? Over.
You're good.
Okay, there's more tear gas being fired. The students have really fallen along. Photographer. Bye. We're live streaming. What? I'm on mic. That was a nice person worried about my cameraman. So, even though there's a lot of tear gas firing, to clear a lot of ground today. There is, however, where I'm stood. Gated iron, steel, wire, and bricks. And I hope that no one will hit me. This is Vice News. Venezuela.
You're dead, you're dead. In a few seconds.
And we were watching.
Come back if you can, come back.
We were watching the students of the student demonstration fought back here by tear gas. That's not stopping them. Man, these kids are so young. It's seen someone collect loads of here the Molotovs. Here come the Molotovs. And they're getting whoa! Just got one in the head. Tear gas cannons just ricocheted, hit me in the head. But alright. Okay, two protesters just charged through the centre, carrying Molotov cocktails, and tried to get about 10 metres away from the cop. Instantaneously, tear gas was directly at them. But those guns aren't made to aim, so they. All of the protesters seem to have fallen back. Now, because Altamira Square is a safe behind who aren't fighting, who are just peacefully observing. And that's the case. Oh my God, it's tiring talking non-stop. This is Vice News, reporting live from clashes in Caracas, in Venezuela, on YouTube. Vice News, doing what's never been done before, with live coverage from the riots in Venezuela. Once again, to make another dart. But they're giving it a go anyway. Most stones they throw are dropping short. Oh, man. Sorry. More Molotov cocktails being thrown. It's pretty dark when someone's throwing a Molotov cocktail. People behind me look less jubilant than they have in previous days. I think they know they're having their asses handed to them. Now, yesterday... Whoa, careful, mate. More tear gas. More tear gas. I'm standing behind a lamppost. Tear gas is flying around me. Gas marks on. Floods of tear gas. Caracas, Venezuela on YouTube. You're listening to Alex Miller. They're coughing around me to the tear gas.
You're good, you're good, you're good.
Might. And that's a rocket. That's how it is. Space, confirm I'm live. Space, confirm I'm live. Right. Inside. There's people over here. There's a man to launch a rocket. Whoa! Goes straight at the police feet. The protesters like that. So always kind of worrying at these things when you realise that one stone and the protesters were just celebrating because one of their guys had made a rocket launcher from a pipe and a firework. Obvious response was a gassing. Everything's a gassing around it. Square. Venezuela. Unfortunately, the sunken belt that is Caracas is bowling. It is confused. Boxes to use as weapons. Using the flats. This news on YouTube. The response will be tear gas, we all know that. But some kids are using corrugated iron shields, there's the gas. Oh, people are trying to catch it. Okay. And the gas comes, if you're wearing a mask, the trick is to look up. There's a huge explosion. Probably a firework or just a by the police to people. Once more, the protesters have fallen behind my position. But just to clarify, they haven't got gas masks. I'm taking photos, which we will broadcast is over. This is Vice News, reporting live from YouTube in Caracas, Venezuela, where police are currently having a big tear gas cloud strewn with blocks. motorbike. That's a one. Because I've moved beyond signal and it will. Broadcast from the front line of a protest in Caracas. You are live on YouTube, Caracas. More tear gas thrown. Yesterday there was a moment where students and a member of the police force met in the centre. They discussed terms and reach an agreement. I think at the time the police were asking them simply to move back into the square. If that's what the police wanted, they've got it. This is mostly slightly suffocating. Live from Caracas. Oh, Molotov. Take up for 5 minutes. Confirm you're going to.
Hey, it's Alex Jitty taking over from Alex Miller while he takes a breather from the action down there in Altamira Square in Caracas. It's 5:15 in the evening, and it's become something of a routine over the past weeks, or the past month, to come out into Altamira Square, throw petrol bombs at police, have tear gas thrown back, and have the nightly which tend to run through into the night before the police finally roll in on motorbikes and finish the job. As you just saw, protesters love to use fireworks against the cops, and they seem to be using them increasingly. Over the past few days we've seen some pretty right on target attacks using those big fireworks against the cops that tend to get followed by a huge roar from the protesters, sometimes in advance by the protesters, and then a charge from the cops again. Everything's looking pretty stationary at the moment. More fireworks coming in. Wondering who's going to make a move next. Alex Miller's still down with the protesters to the right, as far as we know. And that's not something we've seen before. The police run forward with those, what look like shotguns, taking pot shots and running back. And those contain lethal. So that's real guns with less lethal ammunition. Right now we have more cops on the side of this building, we think.
Is he breaking them? Stand by, stand. You're breaking up. Can you come back?
A little bit of an advance by the police there. Protesters running back. We got word earlier today that this morning one of these National Guard policemen you see down here was killed in the east of Caracas. So we're wondering whether their tempers might be flaring. They certainly seem a little more aggressive tonight than they were last night and the night before.
Okay.
Bit of a standoff right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another big firework coming in. This really has become the routine over the past weeks. Police know the drill and the protesters know the drill. You can just see some roadblocks on the left of the screen there, a roadblock, which tends to get set up late afternoon. Stop the police motorbikes from rolling in. The police will then clear the area with tear gas, fight the protesters away, and eventually after dark they'll come and clear those roadblocks away. And then the next day the whole thing starts again. Protesters look like they're preparing something on the right of the and I think the cops on the left know it. They're chatting to themselves. Looks like they might be planning something. We've seen these policemen riding about by the 100 on motorbikes. They really do roll deep. There's some more arriving now on the left. The protesters starting to advance again.
It was just a huge charge. People panicked. I was putting my gas mask back on at the time, I nearly got knocked charged off. I think people are coming back. There are reports surfacing that a policeman was killed yesterday. That is unconfirmed. Big ass in front of me. Trigger mask. Closing. Done. Into the plume. People all around have got some cars out of their window, but not today. I'm just giving a cigarette to a guy.
De aquí.
Oh.
Voltealo. Voltea para la marca. La marca.
If you're good, just come closer if you can.
Close. Nice news. Reporting live on YouTube. Venezuela. Yet again in Altamira Square. I've just tear gas. In a few, well, I don't know. See people by the gas. The sound you can hear from me. The sound next to me is a girl banging a lamp to the brick. It's a call to arms. A call to arms to the students. I'm trying to a higher vantage point to see what I can see. I'm going to move to the front line. Beneath my feet are the remnants of a mural made with empty tear gas canisters from yesterday. There must be about 200. And a lot have been fired today as well. More fly off in the distance. Oh, a lot going on over there. People are using corrugated iron as shields, street signs as shields. They're wrapping their t-shirts around their face, hiding behind anonymous masks. I just saw a guy do some parkour. Oh, kicking off. The sun continues to set in Caracas. This is looking like police have made real ground here. Only a few hardcore remain. Well, to be fair, behind me there are quite 100 people. Those standing within range of the cops don't number that many. There we go, there's the gas. Whoa! I just saw it hit a girl in the face. And they're firing it at specific protesters. I'm trying to stand my ground and take photographs. I'm wearing a tear gas mask. A tear gas can rolls between my legs. One bounces by my left-hand foot, one knee goes near my head, and the protesters scatter around me. A few brave ones try and pick them off and hold them back at the cops. The police are in total control. Yet again, the assault is paused. This is Death by 1,000 Cuts. And this is Vice. Vice News. Live on YouTube. In Caracas, Venezuela. Unprecedented live reporting. This is Alex Miller, your voice on the ground. Vice News. It lives in less than a week. Ready behind the story in Ukraine and on the ground live in protests in Venezuela. Around me, protesters are using their phones trying to work out what's going on. Got their weapons out and they're charging forward. I'm not very good at aiming though, so there's always a slight worry that it's going to cane me in the back of the head. Fortunately, both are kind enough to provide body armour, gas mask and helmet. So I am lucky enough to be safe. I'm moving to the front of the barricade to try and take some photographs. The sun is setting. It casts a deathly glow over proceedings here as people scream, well, I presume the Spanish obscenities, so I don't. The coffins stand still and silent in black. It's an intimidating sight. But then, so is a square full of hooded youth with masks on. These students are protesting against the government. They claim Caracas is unsafe to live in. They point basic supplies like toilet paper, sugar, oil are impossible to source. They say the production is rife, and they say they won't have any more. The government say the students merely represent a small right-wing minority. Split down the middle, and that tear rips right through Altamira Square, which is from where we join you now. There's brief panic. When the sound of a motorbike comes up, there is panic. People are scared. The collectivos, depending on whoever you ask, either defenders of the revolution or government-sponsored thugs who are responsible for shooting students in previous demonstrations. What's not really up for debate is that they carry guns on their back, because I've seen them. The other little right could be, and I do see them now. I still run, I've got to run.
Looks like Alex has had to retreat to the back of the square. Police are really advancing now. This is a totally different tactic they're using tonight. Advancing on foot, slowly, steadily. They've got those shotguns out. You can see the tear gas getting thrown back at them. Alex is somewhere back in that square.
Is that confirmed?
He's running forward, carrying those white buckets. I don't know why. Little press pack. Running back. Police really steadily moving forward. Action moving right to the back of the square. They'll just keep on it. And some backup arriving now. If I look the other direction. Yeah, police have got all four corners of the square now and they're running. Looks like the protesters might be out for the moment, but they'll be back. And we'll keep streaming, I think. Big firework. Regular police moving in behind the riot cops. Take a look in the other corner. You can see how the police have moved in. And they're locking down each corner. It won't be long before they turn up on motorbikes. And that's when the protesters really will. And this is one day after the anniversary yesterday of Hugo Chavez's death. That was a year and a day ago. There's really been a lot of tension in this country, which is really sharply divided between supporters of the government, President Maduro, who replaced Hugo Chavez last year, and these opposition types. Some of them more militant, like the ones we're looking at today, others who are just asking for peace. A lot of people have accused the protesters of being this upper middle class minority, but their ranks seem to be growing. And from the show out at Chavez's death celebrations yesterday, it seems like government supporters are dwindling, at least in the city. We'll go up to the other end of the square again. See if we can follow the fight. Bulldozers moving in already. This is a first. This is not something we've seen before over the past week and a bit. getting some friendly waves from police up here. They don't seem too worried by our presence. But the police have really turned their fight back in this square to a slick operation. It's riot police going in slow and steady, using shotguns versus those increasingly large fireworks the protesters are using. They have regular cops behind, and then police in dump trucks coming in to clean these garimbas, these roadblocks which the protesters have been setting up across the city every night for a month or so. Protesters still at it. Last night we saw one of those big fireworks fire right into a 5th-story flat. It was a nasty explosion. So those fireworks are not safe in the slightest, even against their allies of the protesters. So, looks like Alex Miller's been driven from the back end of the square. He's going to try and come back around. And here come those riot police on motorbikes. That's so feared by the protesters. Much earlier than usual. Normally these guys wait until after dark. They tend to sit there for a while and then they'll just charge.
Walk away.
Here they come.
Walk away. Here we come, please. Walk away.
Nightly procession getting earlier and earlier. Arms to the teeth. National Guard on motorbikes. Regular police behind. Rolling behind that bulldozer they're using now to clear away the roadblocks. Quiet again in Altamira Square. Just seeing what's become of Alex Miller. He's out there somewhere. He's happy. It's like another wave. National Guard bikes. There's also a couple of ambulance bikes riding with the police there. That's also a first, not something we've seen before. Perhaps with police getting injured, along with some of the so-called collectivo motorbike gang members over the past couple of days. They're being a bit more careful. Here's an unmarked bike. Sinister looking guys. There's that other sound that's become quite familiar over the past few days of pots banging on people's windows, balconies. A bit of audio resistance to the police every night. Since this has all happened so early today, it'll be interesting to see what happens when night falls. He's looking relaxed. I'm going to be back. It's all looking pretty calm now in Altamira Square. Yeah, so we're just watching Twitter. It looks like all the protesters have moved one block up, and the police are following. So there may still be a running battle up there. But I just spoke to Alex. It's all pretty quiet about one block in the other direction. So he's going to try and come back around. There's that police dump truck. They must have rented in a bunch of these for today. They have that big hole in which to dump all the crap that people use for these roadblocks. Strange, you see these guys on high-powered unmarked bikes, and they seem to be in charge of both the National Guard and the regular police. And they just let regular guys wearing sports clothes and directing proceedings. That's perhaps the most sinister thing about this whole operation. We've heard unverified reports over the past few days that police may be running low on stocks of their tear gas and other so-called less lethal weapon. We've just heard word that they're starting to arrest protesters at the other end. Perhaps they're cornering them, or carrying them away on bikes. That's at least one who we think has been carried away on a bike, one protester. Yeah, there's one and there's another. You can see the protesters now being carried away on bikes. Again, at first, at least we haven't seen this. And frankly, one of those protesters looked injured. A girl. More police coming back, perhaps to reinforce those corners. They're really playing rougher tonight than they have been recently.
You okay? You okay? Six and 10. Six detainees, 3 of them women.
Yes, so now the unverified reports are that 6 people have been detained, 3 of them women. And we certainly think we've seen 2 or 3 of them being taken away. Let's see if we see any more now. No. We just had word from Alex. He's at the back of the square, and I suggested that he leave the area for the moment. If they're scooping people up on these bikes, it's probably not great. See if we can swing around, take a look back where they seem to be taking those protesters. Let's have a look. We're having to be kind of careful up here. clearly far from the scene. Looks like a really early and really rough clearance of Altamira Square tonight. The peace has come pretty quickly. It seems to have come at quite a cost. We may not see those nighttime battles that have marked this square recently. Definitely a change in the tactics. These National Guard are the same guys who have allegedly been scooping up journalists from the front line, clearly marked legal journalists with journalist visas, allegedly beating them, holding them for periods of time, handcuffing them to motorbikes, and then releasing them. In one case, according to one member of the press I spoke to, they confiscated his gas mask and his body armour. Just now scanning the square, seeing if it's all died down. That was the swiftest clearance we've seen. It's maybe 20 minutes or half an hour. Is there any way to get out of this factory? Is there any way to get out of this factory?
I think that's safe for you. One serious balance. I'd run that.
Yeah, it looks pretty much like calm in Altamira Square now. Even some people walking home with their shopping, it looks like. And some protesters are back. We're back up, streaming on vicenews.com. In case you missed it, had a pretty big protest. It kind of ended before it began in Altamira Square in Caracas, Venezuela. Police moved in pretty quickly, cleared it out, detained a bunch of protesters, it seems. Now they've got the whole square locked down. And we've just had another unverified report of another protester being detained somewhere in the square. I think now sunset's coming. Altamira Square's by it. Looks like Alex is away safe. He's out of range of our mics. He's safe. That's another firework coming in. No. More shots from those.
This is Alex Miller reporting from Vice News live on YouTube from Caracas, Venezuela. I had spent the last hour and a half reporting on live stream from the centre of Altamira Square, where police and demonstrators are clashing for at least the fifth night on the trot. I was forced beyond my position with the radio would work, so I've now retreated to safety. Today the police response was efficient and from the point of view of the protesters, I'm sure dispiriting. From the point of view of the police, encouraging. Whereas previous days have seen the protesters manage to, maintain their barriers at the bottom end of the square to keep the blockades up, which are made of bricks and steel. Today, after they were cleared last night, the police had nothing in their way. This meant that within about 15 minutes of the protesters amassing at the bottom end of the square, police were confidently strolling, step by step forwards, firing tear gas at protesters. In about 40 minutes, they captured more ground than they have captured over the last few days. The protesters, to be honest, looked a little dispirited by the fact that the police were so easily gaining ground, and I think this was a testimony to the effectiveness of tear gas, so congratulations to whoever invented that. The police actually managed to enter the square. The last few days that I've been here, and I've been at the protests, and I've been in the middle of the chaos and the fighting. I've seen a lot of tear gas get thrown. I've seen an awful lot of stones get lobbed at police as well. I've seen Molotov cocktails be thrown around, but I've yet until today seen the police manage to breach the actual square itself. Yeah, after really quite enthusiastic volleys of tear gas, the police had the protesters back into the square itself quite quickly. They then charged on bikes, causing chaos in the protesters, who all sprinted back. There's a real deep fear of the police here. I mean, you'd be scared of anyone. You'd just spent the last couple of hours throwing rocks out, I guess. But there have been stories of police being injured in fights yesterday, and protesters were saying that they were worried that there might be retribution today. There was certainly a swift justice from the police. They certainly decided that today wasn't going to drag on into the evening, at least not in the same spot it had forever. So they charged into the square, and everyone fled back. I heard reports of motorcycles picking up protesters, arresting them and taking them back behind lines. But I was, with the majority of protesters, forced up into the top right-hand corner of Altamira Square, and kind of funneled into the side streets there. Once we were there, people started building slightly half-assed barricades, but mostly everyone was trying to flee. However, you can taste the tear gas in the air for further up the road than you have been able to on any other day. Now, after I've said all of this, it probably sounds like things are escalating here dramatically, but I'm not entirely certain that that's the case. I think that today what we're seeing is a large number of protesters, but not quite as many as I saw a couple of days ago. But what we are seeing is a more confident police force and a more, a more focused police force. They are there to clear the square, and they are largely achieving it. However, of course, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, once the police... 3 days ago, I saw the police clear the square entirely. I saw National Guard ride around the square and the students flee. Yet, come dawn, the students were back and were operating in the square once more. And I wonder if that'll be the case again. People are talking about Saturday as an important day for this movement simply because there is the largest opposition march so far will be taking place. Now, of course, the opposition march itself isn't directly clashing with the police. In fact, I met with the leader of the main opposition party, Justice First, Enrique Capriles, yesterday, and he explained to me, well, he told me that he condemned violence when I questioned what he thought of the protesters in Altamira Square. But the fact that so many people are meeting up well suggests that once again Altamira Square becomes a target destination for people to amass, and then once people are in the square, I think we've all seen enough now to know that eventually they're going to fight. I have been saying over the last few days, though, that eventually this can't go on forever, and eventually either the protesters or the police needed a big victory, and I wonder if this is it. The police have comprehensively flooded the bottom half of the square, as far as I know. I'm now back watching the live stream, much like you lot. The top of the square, when I left it 10 minutes ago, was panicked and thinning. However, you know, you never know what's around the corner. So far, it looks to me as though the only weaponry used by police, or at least the main weaponry used, has been tear gas. There is real paranoia in the protesters' ranks about the colectivos, who are a rather terrifying semi-autonomous revolutionary bicycle gang who it's rumoured shot at protesters before. So the moments of great panic in the square are when the sounds of motorbikes flood the area, because to the ears of the protesters that only means two things: either National Guard or colectivos, neither of which are things that you want to see if you're a 20-year-old kid with a balaclava on, a pocket full of rocks and a slingshot in your hand. I'm going to attempt to get back into the square, but when I was leaving, everything was getting fully shut down. I'm going to try and seek out some more information and get back to you guys soon. Just a reminder, you're watching Vice News live on YouTube, broadcasting live from Altamira Square in Caracas, in Venezuela. This is Alex Miller, and I'll be back to you as soon as I have something more to tell you. Thank you.
This is hard. Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's Alex Chitty. We're back in the square. I guess you just heard from Alex Miller, who's probably about 2 blocks behind the square. He's had to run on advice from our guys on the ground here. But we just had word from the mayor of Caracas? Mayor of Chacao, which is this area of Caracas. 15 protesters have been detained. And that, as far as I know, is one of the highest figures of this trouble so far. So clearly the police are playing for keeps today. And that's an opposition now. So you can see there that real sharp divide in Venezuelan society, especially here in Caracas. We have politicians now, like Ramon Muchacho, criticizing the police for detaining so many people. Meanwhile, the central government accusing them of siding with the US wanted to have a coup, possibly backed by the CIA. As far as we know, those claims are pretty much unfounded. From the protesters we've spoken to here, they're more concerned about scarcity of medicine, general security, because this is a scary town to walk around at night. Corruption, and a whole bunch of other issues. I think night's starting to fall over the square. Whether the police will keep it on lock through the night, we'll see. We'll keep streaming for now. Police doing their victory lap. They're pretty happy with themselves. Yeah, so just down the road outside the state television channel BTV, we've heard that police are starting to gather in large numbers. I guess there's another protest going on there from looking at Twitter. There's some accusations that they're imprisoning young people and taking them away. The day after Venezuela severed diplomatic and commercial ties with Panama. It's just another reason for President Maduro's government to be maybe panicking a bit. Pretty poor turnout of regional leaders at that big celebration of Chavez's passing yesterday. It really seems like the government are worried. On Saturday is one of the biggest marches yet planned, and we're going to be here for it. The opposition leader, Enrique Capriles, is going to speak at a protest for the first time. Until now he's been critical of this uprising. It seems now even the more moderate opposition leaders are going to be out in force over the next couple of days, so we may have increased violence. There's also a rumour going around that a member of the Colectivo motorbike gangs has been killed under unclear circumstances. And as we heard earlier, that dead riot policeman in the east of the city this morning. Now some of the chat is saying there's a protest in support of the government, but it's a long way away. It's in Times Square, New York. Shouldn't worry these protesters too much. And this is another thing we haven't really seen. This policeman riding in single file is doing this victory lap of the square. Complete change in tactics today. Seemingly much harsher. Hello, Reddit. Looks like you may have picked up some more views. Who's that coming in at the back of the square? Police? Looks like a mixture of riot police and those normals. One of the grievances of the people here is that there's just no accountability for this GMB, this National Guard. So if you're beaten or arrested by a member of the regular police force, there's a certain degree of accountability. You complain and it goes through the normal channels. But these masked, armed National Guard seem to operate with some degree of impunity. As I was saying earlier, we've heard stories firsthand of alleged beatings by the GMB and the confiscation of journalists' equipment, even those who are legally registered in the country. Twitter feed that Altamira tweets about Altamira Square going to be crazy. A lot of accusations of repression. So remember that a lot of people in this country are pretty strongly opposed to these protesters. They'd much rather turn to normal. Standing at the barricade, even as a member of the press, you get people, normal people in traffic shouting at you, "What are you doing? You're closing our city." A lot of people don't like these protesters. In these areas, these staunchly opposition areas, support seems to be pretty much universal. Still not looking like it's safe for us to go out there. Look at that. We just heard about 4 blocks west of here, west of Altamira Square, there's another demonstration. That might be why police are a bit down here. Yeah, they're definitely rolling in these unmarked 4x4s, and that's yet another thing we haven't seen before. closing in faster now. Ah, they're back. National Guard back on foot this time. So if you're just joining us, we're streaming for a little while now in Altamira Square in Caracas, Venezuela. Perhaps an hour ago, a small number of protesters crawling up with Molotov cocktails, make gas masks, makeshift body armour, and these shields they make from corrugated iron. What we saw was a completely new set of tactics from the National Guard, these masked riot police. They came in slowly and steadily on foot, with shotguns firing what looked like bird shots, so live rounds, live, less lethal rounds at protesters. Here comes a squad of them now, outside window. Saw them clear out the square really quickly, quicker than we've seen it before. And then these bulldozers come in to clear away these guerrillas, these barricades which the protesters seem to. Now everyone's back in full force, riot police, regular police. I'm just going to scream fire. Looks like the police have got this place well and truly under control. The buckets, I guess, I'll put the tear gas canisters back in. Another reason why the tensions might be a bit higher than usual today, as I mentioned earlier. In fact, 1 year anniversary yesterday, the passing of Hugo Chavez, the former leader of Venezuela, who died a year ago yesterday. Raul Castro, the leader of Cuba, was in town. Again, it's another figure who seems to be either loved or hated in this city and in this country widely. This is very much an urban phenomenon. There are these groups called collectivos, who are these armed militants. Some see them as community organisers in certain areas, in the slums which surround the city. Those guys pretty much clear of the protests of their own. That may be how one policeman, one female member of the field yesterday we were up the road in the centre of the city in this huge military parade to celebrate that passing of Chavez. Just a few miles of this stuff every night. Trying to figure out if those are regular civilian cars coming back in, buses, police cars. And it looks like the road at the end is open again. Yeah, I wouldn't bank on this being over for the night. Unless these police can keep the square unlocked by just keeping these laps. They're going to just have to keep doing these laps if they want to keep the square full of protests. They'll be back and quickly. It'll be interesting to see what new tactic the protesters use to fight against those bulldozers which the police have put in for the first time today. You know, in Venezuela you've got a large number of TV channels. Only a tiny minority are not state-owned or state-run, controlled in some way, it seems. And so Twitter has just become the main source of information, at least for locals, on these protests. So we're just looking now at the Altamira, the hashtag for this square. It's just a buzz with information about people arrested, people injured. There's pictures on there of injuries from smoke grenade canisters allegedly, and from those less lethal shotguns which we saw the police using earlier. Extreme force. It's unverified, of course. It seems to be the main source of news for this protest. Definitely not something we've seen in the square today. Seems like the police and the state is getting more organised about breaking these events up. There's another of those unmarked vehicles. Or is it just the neighbours? Let's hope it's the neighbours. It's a handful of normal vehicles returning to the square. A reminder, you're in Altamira Square in the center of Caracas, Venezuela. This is live. This is Vice News. And you've seen the protests getting broken up really quickly. New tactics from the police. Trying to figure out if these unmarked cars are police or just brave residents of the square. We've certainly been told to stay indoors. We're just going to keep streaming as this cleanup operation continues. clearing it out. Not really classic, we haven't been there before. These moped guys don't care.
hours.
Stoned. So that made me like the police out there. Oh, it's okay. We're back. Let's move. Huh? Let's move. Yeah, check out. Go. Which way? Which way? Go. North. That's the way out. What's the map? What? That's the way out. That's the map. So you need to put that on the Gracias.